Hello, it's Charlotte Thornton, the career mentor for actors, looking at how do we deal with the waiting after we've been to an audition. Come and check it out. Brilliant. So you've had an audition, always exciting, always brilliant. Thank you, universe. And perhaps you've had a recall. Oh, that gets even more exciting. And yet at the same time, we can feel that sort of limbo whilst we're waiting to hear. And what do we do with that? What do we do with this limbo time? So, what the ego wants to do is the ego wants to know. It has to know what happened, so it wants to look back over the audition and decide whether you did well or not, and decide based on that whether you're going to get it or not. Now, even if you could remember everything that you did in the audition, and usually we can't, usually we've been in the moment, and so we haven't been in the observer self, which usually is better acting. And so, because we haven't been in the observer self, we can't remember everything we did. We were just living our truth in the moment. Well done. That's what you should have been doing. So, we can't necessarily backtrack unless we did a self tape, in which case we can watch it back. But often we can't backtrack and decide whether we did well or we didn't do well. And even if we've got a self tape and we think we can decide whether we did well or we didn't do well, we should know by now none of that means you are going to get it or not get it. You could get the job having not done it well, and you could not get the job having done it well. So you see what madness it is to even try and think about, did I do it well or did I not do it well, when it is not an exact science like that. So the ego wants to know, and that's why it's doing that scan. That's not going to help you because it's not logical like that. But also we have to sort of soothe the ego and go, I know you want to know, but our actual job is to stand in the courage of not knowing. Okay, to stand in the magical moment of possibility instead of trying to know one way or another. Because often what we do is that feels so scary to the ego to not know. And so in order to know, it'll guess, and it may guess wrong. And if it guesses in what it thinks is the safest guess, with the safest guess being that you haven't got it, it thinks it's preparing you then for not getting it. But all it's doing is, if you do get it, making you disappointed unnecessarily. If you don't get it, making you disappointed twice. And if there is such thing as a law of attraction, it's sending out the message that you don't want it or you didn't think you were good enough to get it. So I'm just really encouraging you to go, I get the ego wants to know. I'm going to be braver than that. I'm going to be more courageous than that. I'm going to stand in the limbo of not knowing, this magical moment where it's possible, everything is possible. I'm just going to hang out there. I'm going to hang out there and try and be as zen as I can. And obviously you've got to get on with your life. And I give people the exercise of writing why they would be a wonderful choice, which isn't a privilege why it should be me, but just gives us a chance to remind ourselves why we'd be a wonderful choice, which might undo some of the brain sometimes, or the inner critic coming in with why it thinks we won't get it. It balances some of that out. But ideally, we want to hang in not knowing. Just hang out there in possibility. But if you are going to step into how did I do, I want you to think about how you did brilliantly. Not that that necessarily means you can book the job, because we can be brilliant and not book the job. Our brain doesn't like that, but that is the truth. So that's what we do with the moment while we're waiting. And obviously you get on with other stuff, live life, have as much fun as you can. But where possible, when you see the ego trying to decide one way or another, just kind of go, no, I'm gonna step into the unknown. I'm gonna be brave and hang out here where everything is open to possibilities. Anyway, I wish you all the best, but just remember, it's not about the best person always gets the job. Only one person can get the job, and there's usually lots of really great actors that went up for it. And who knows, it must be a really hard decision most of the time. So don't make up a belief that it means anything about your ability or who you are or your worth. None of it's personal. And if you're getting stuck in that personal, what happens then is we step into victim. So do check out my free course, From Victim to Victor, which is on my website, but I'll put a link in the description below. So do check that out. It's a free little sort of 5-day challenge helping you do, there's lots of great exercises in there. I've really jam-packed lots of stuff in, and it's free. So do check that out. All right, wishing you all the best and good luck with that audition. If you'd like to find out more from me, do go to charlottethornton.com. That's my website. You can find out about how to mentor with me, but also I've got webinars on there, live events, my book, and of course a great resource that is my blog. So do check it out, simply charlottethornton.com.